So, if you guys were unaware, we discussed the Pokemon Go creator Niantic selling their company off to another buyer, and they sold it for $3.5 billion. They sold their entire portfolio, not just Pokemon Go, but every video game that Niantic has made was sold for $3.5 billion. Which is absolutely insane. But apparently, there was a lot of people they were trying to say, and especially Pokemon Go, Niantic, they were trying to say, "Oh, we're going to keep everybody. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Trust us." Well, just realize that every time there is a sale of this magnitude, and I'm looking at you, Ubisoft, every time there's a sale of this magnitude, there will be layoffs, guaranteed. The people who are buying the company, they are having a structure in their mind that Niantic is going to have to follow and agree to before the sale gets finalized. And once you see that sale finalized, you already know that layoffs are coming. Well, we are here. Niantic has officially announced that they have laid off 68 people after it sold its entire portfolio. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So this article comes from Insider Gaming, and it says that Niantic has announced that it has laid off 68 people as part of its restructuring process following the sale of its video game IPs to Scopely. Now, here's the thing. I still remember the reaction that the internet had regarding Pokemon Go, and I'm sure you guys do as well. Pokemon Go had one of the most ridiculous, I don't even know like if ridiculous is even the word to properly describe what they decided to do to the avatars in the game for the US players. I don't even know if it was just US players. I know Japan didn't get it. Japan still has their cute little avatars and stuff like that all the women like to dress up and stuff. But the United States, no, they got the modern audience avatars. I remember all the videos of women filming themselves logging into the game only to find out that their cute little avatars got absolutely butchered, that they all became trans avatars. It was absolutely insane. So anyway, the moment that happened, the player base obviously dropped. It didn't drop massively, but it did drop, and affected the company enough to, on top of other things, decide that apparently they want to sell to Scopely. Now, this deal with Scopely, obviously when a deal like this happens, it's very clear that this has been in the run for a long time. It's very clear that this has been something that was in the works for a long time. But this is why whenever these companies put out PR statements for like Niantic put out a PR statement, I remember, and they essentially said that we're gonna make sure everything goes smoothly and that nobody's affected in any negative way. It's very clear it's all bullshit. They fired 68 people as part of the restructuring process, and I guarantee you Scopely required that level of firing before they finalized the deal. But the deal was officially confirmed in March of 2025, where it was announced that Scopely would acquire Niantic's game business, including the highly successful Pokemon Go, in addition to Pikmin Bloom and Monster Hunter Now. As part of the acquisition, the teams working on the projects also moved over to Scopely, but Niantic announced that it's laying off those working on other projects. Niantic says that the decision was made to effectively make Niantic a startup under the new name Niantic Spatial. In a press release on the move, Niantic said, "Second, we are spinning off our pioneering geospatial AI business into a new company, Niantic Spatial Inc., enabling it to accelerate and scale even more rapidly. Led by John Hank, Niantic Spatial will be funded with $250 million of capital, including $200 million from Niantic's balance sheet and a $50 million investment from Scopely. All of Niantic's original investors will also continue to be shareholders of Niantic Spatial." On the move, CEO of Niantic said, "Why? Because we're in the midst of seismic changes in technology with AI evolving rapidly. Existing maps were built for people to read and navigate, but now there is a need for a new kind of map that makes the world intelligible for machines, for everything from smart glasses to humanoid robots, so they can understand and navigate the physical world. Today's LLMs represent the first step towards a future where a variety of expert models collaborate to reason and understand complex problems, and many of those problems will require deep and accurate knowledge of the physical world. Niantic is building the models that will help AI move beyond the screen and into the real world." I gotta be honest, sounds like Skynet, bro. You know what I mean? It sounds a little scary to me. But no, so in all seriousness, it seems as if Niantic has decided to move past the typical mobile video games that made them a lot of money. And it looks like they're investing in AI. They're trying to get ahead of the curve and trying to be pioneers in the AI space for maybe video games or otherwise, right? They could be working outside of video games at this point, but it seems like they want to utilize AI to basically help machinery establish itself in real life in a way that once things start utilizing AI in the real world, like they said, AI companions and models and whatnot, this is going to be their foothold. This is going to be what's going to help them establish themselves as a different company. It says with $250 million in funding, some of the world's best geospatial AI talent, access to proprietary data, a strong customer pipeline, and a rapid product cycle, I believe Niantic Spatial is poised to succeed and, like the games that gave birth to it, to make its own positive impact on the world, that he continued. So again, it looks like they're moving from video games to AI production. It might be AI production in video games. It might be AI production in the real world. I really am not sure what their ultimate goal is. But at the end of the day, they have decided to lay off 68 people. And again, this is a company that sold its product for almost $4 billion, right? They are investing $250 million of capital of their own money into this next company, and 50 million of it came from Scopely. So it's not like they're using all of their money. You know, it's very clear that they had the money to keep these people. You're talking about 68 people. How much payroll could those 68 people clearly have taken up? They were just deemed not necessary. And it goes to show that no matter how much money these companies make, no matter how much capital they have, if they deem you unnecessary, you're going to be gone. It doesn't really matter what you provide or what you think you provide to the company. Now, in terms of Scopely owning Niantic's properties, I wonder, what they're going to do with it. A lot of people are saying perhaps they will reverse the patch that a lot of people hated that made all the characters ugly. I highly doubt that. I don't really know too much about Scopely as a company. I don't know if they have certain DEI ideologies or whatever. I'm really not sure, but I don't think they're going to magically change the game and revert the patch, because I did see some people saying that, and it wouldn't really make sense because they bought this game as is, right? They bought Pokemon Go as it is with the ugly patch and the US side and everything. They know exactly what they were buying. I'm sure they researched everything they were buying before they bought it and spent $4 billion on all these IPs. So they bought the game knowing exactly what it was, and I highly doubt they're going to revert it and bring it back to whatever people think are the glory days of Pokemon Go. But yes, this game unfortunately has screwed over a lot of people with that patch, and it looks like they're screwing over their own employees by firing 68 people. And again, if you guys don't remember the patch that made everything super ugly, you can clearly see that on the left, the characters were super feminine, very typical of what you would expect from a game like this, and then they got transed. It was really unfortunate. The characters became so ugly. They removed the hips, they removed the legs, they removed everything that made it feminine, and they just made them into boys with wigs on. Here's another example. This is absolutely insane. I mean, just look at this. Look at this picture. It is so bad what they did to these characters. It's insane. This is probably one of the best comparisons we can see by far. Look at the left, super feminine, even has a little bit of a slight tilt to the way that she stands like most women do. And then on the right, completely turned into a boy that stands super straight, has no hips, has no tilt, has no nothing, just completely and utterly changed. Even the face structure was completely changed. The skin color was changed as well. It's really bad. This one is egregious. This one is the worst one, I think, out of all of them. Look what happened to this woman's avatar. I mean, what the hell are we doing? Holy crap. But again, I want to make it very clear. They know exactly what they were buying, right? Scopely knows what they were buying. They know that they were buying this game that made these changes. And, I guess people still play it enough to make them worth almost $4 billion, right? Now, to be fair, it's not just Pokemon Go that's worth $4 billion, but you get my point. It was worth enough money for them to want to spend billions of dollars on these IPs. It's insane. And Pokemon Go is the leading one out of the three that they purchased. So this patch ruined it for a lot of people. And unfortunately, it looks like for those 68 people from Pokemon Go, they're basically letting them go. And this is where we're at now. This is where we're at. Niantic is going to be going into the AI field, and I'm very curious as to what they're going to be making from here on out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.